The sixth question of this series is, why do we repress sexual energy? Before Freud, we certainly lived in a society that was sexually repressed. Everyone thought about sex, but no one could speak about it. When Freud came along, this radically changed, since he revealed this sexual repression as a cause of neurosis and other mental and physical health issues. And over the years, especially during the past century, sexuality came out of the closet that it was buried in the 19th century and before to become free to talk, to discuss at will, and to expose to everyone. So why do we now continue to repress sexual energy if we can now talk about sex freely? Well, repression of sexual energy is one of the biggest issues these days, although it's paradoxically, since sexuality in the Western world at least is seen very liberally, and everywhere you turn there are marketing images designed to stimulate your sexuality so you can buy your product. Sexuality in itself is not repressed, quite the opposite. It's talked freely and exposed even more. But the flow of sexual energy in your body is a different matter. Because we are being so exposed to sexuality in our hypersexualized society, sexual energy rises even more than in the old days. And don't get me wrong, okay, sexual energy and sexuality has been a part of us since the beginning of times, and there's plenty of historic manifestations of it. So we aren't the enlightened ones that now accept and discover it. But we are certainly the first ones who are living in a hypersexualized society with sexual images, videos, and ads everywhere we turn, with the goal of sexually arousing us. The problem now is the opposite of the times of Freud, but the end result is very similar. Before, people were thinking sexually and couldn't manifest it or talk about it. Now we can talk and we can manifest it, but we are generating so much of it. The sexual energy that we are now generating inside of ourselves is much more than in the old days due to society's hypersexualization. It's impossible to take a 10-minute walk downtown of any Western city without seeing at least 100 different sexual photos, billboards, or ads. This has a distinct effect on our energy body, and especially sexual energy. We are going to generate much more sexual energy. It will want to circulate inside of us faster and with more power than before. If we don't allow it, it will cause problems. Just like in traffic, imagine that you have triple the traffic for the same roads that were prepared for a lot less. You will have traffic jams all over the place. It's what happens with sexual energy. More energy wants to circulate faster, and it can only do it if we already have the specially built high-traffic clean energy highways. Otherwise, a one-lane road with a truck in front will quickly be congested. So now, either our body adapts to these new demands, or all hell will break loose, which is what continues to happen with a further increase in mental and physical health issues based on the somatization of the sexual energy. Have you ever wondered why psychoanalysis, which in the beginning of the 20th century was very effective therapy, and now it's completely on the background without much concrete results? The therapy was very good for those times where people couldn't discuss the sexuality in an open way. But now that they can and are much more exposed, the talking cure, as Freud puts it, lost its effectiveness. It completely lost it. It's not the therapy that is bad. The therapy was very good for those days, but we are the ones who changed. So we need more than this. We need a new structure of the energy body to be able to handle the increasing sexual energy inside of ourselves. Our strategies of dealing with sexual energies must also evolve. Sexual energy is neither evil or good. It's just a normal biological type of energy in humans. We all have it, whether you like it or not. As the Italian psychologist Roberto Assagioli said, the sexual function in itself is not moral or immoral, but it's pre-moral. It's just something that is part of us. We can catalog it as bad or good, but it doesn't quite matter since it's part of our species. None of us would be here without it. It's present in all humanity, all cultures, and all animals, except for the few asexual animals. And just like any other functions, we need to learn how to deal with it. Some people are born or conditioned to learn how to deal with it. Due to their upbringing, or who knows about the energy body that they were born with, they can handle it very well. These people are usually very good with the opposite sex and have no troubles in unconsciously using sexual energy to attract partners. But most of us weren't born with these kind of energy structures. Hence the need for a structured way to develop these energy structures and internal tools to handle sexual energy and its effects. And, as we're at it, might as well learn how to use the sexual energy for our own personal benefit. That's why we created 2 different trainings. The first training, Sexual Energy Mastery, handles the discovery and manipulation and development of sexual energy. It uses a specific and innovative process to help you discover sexual energy and allow it to flow freely inside of your body. This will end all blocks and repression of sexuality in an easy-to-do way. The second training is the Sexual Magnetism, which works mostly in the projection and externalization of this energy with specific techniques to exteriorize and use this energy for specific applications, laser targeted, or increasing your overall sexual magnetism to be able to attract sexual partners easily. For more information and the rest of this Sexual Energy series, a frequent newsletter on these topics, and more training courses on sexual energy, personal magnetism, charisma, and magnetic gaze, visit charismaschool.com.